morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm MaryAnne. Welcome to your daily Sun Sign Love Connection readings. And today's featured sign is the beautiful, beautiful air sign of Gemini. And welcome to July 4th. Happy July 4th, everybody. Red, white, and blue. Redder lipstick just for you. That rhymed. I didn't even mean to do that, but freedom, independence in the United States of America. A constant and ever-changing, emerging want and desire, right? Which is so important in our lives. And at the same time, we are in the birthday season of Cancer. And that's about family and love and sentimentality and vulnerability and just getting together with people that matter and opening our hearts because, you know, Cancer is a water sign, very sensitive, very caring, very nurturing. And feeling good, going on little vacations now, being able to say I'm going to meet my friends, I'm going to be with my family. This really brings emotion to me this very moment as I'm saying it, because a lot of us have waited so long and are still waiting. And my heart and soul and prayers goes out to the world every day, knowing that it will improve with every single day and believing it to the point I just send that energy out. You know, that's what helps, is the energy and the belief systems and the consciousness that we have in this, on this planet, I should say, in and on the planet. So today's featured sign is, like I said, beautiful Gemini. And Gemini, I'm going to pick the highlighted connection for you, which for those that are new and just tuning in, I do a daily, I do 2 readings for every single sign of the zodiac, which is the featured sign. The reading basically is catered to that particular sign. And I go by going around my zodiac wheel. We're in the beginning part of the month, so we do the first half of the month of July readings, and then I come back and do the second half of the month. You may not feel the reading energies until the second half, and the second half of the month may go very clearly into the next month, but nevertheless, the messages are there, and when you see them or hear them, is important, okay? It's all, and you may resonate right away, you may not at all. But you know, it's for me, it's exciting when I tune into my favorite spiritual guidance, tarot readers and such, and I'm feeling a certain way, and I think, wow, this is fantastic, and I know this energy's got to be good, and I'm going to find out exactly what the specifics are as to what might be that reason. And sure enough, I tune in and I'm like, yep, there's my confirmation, and anything I'm not wanting to hear, I don't have to believe in. I don't have to let that be a part of my life, you know, although I appreciate the forewarning, because if I start to sense that, then I think, oh, that's right. I heard that that might occur because of the energy of Mars, perhaps, or so forth, you know. It's all conducive for the readings, and I'm hoping that you can understand that and connect in some way. My readings are about optimism and uplifting energies and love, authenticity, all the things that are, to me, very important in our lives and in our relationships. So your connected relationship, your highlighted connected relationship that Spirit wants you to know specifically about, Gemini, and the 3 major categories I will read for today is that of Scorpio. Whoa, okay, well that's the water element. This fellow, I was going to say sister, but it could be either gender, fellow water element to Cancer. So that's a beautiful harmonizing energy. That's a double dose of that love and passion and intensity that Scorpio can bring to any scenario. And then we'll talk a little more about that. But after I've read the 3 major categories for this highlighted connection, then I read the oracles that I pick for each month, and I change them about from beginning to middle, and sometimes day to day, depending on what my spirit guides are guiding me to do. And so yeah, these are for every Gemini and every single one of your connections, Gemini, because let's face it, you're an air sign, you're ruled by Mercury, you have great intellect, you want to expand your mind, you're always working and strategizing and thinking of ways, thinking being the optimal word, to express yourself, to share information with others, to network, to connect. Friendships, you know, you're a mutable sign, you're very adaptable, you like to try new things, you're here, there, and everywhere. Your energy is contagious, you're witty, you're smart, you're fun, and you know, you're changeable. You're a duality sign, not only with the mutable aspect, but the fact that you represent the twins. So I have known a lot of Geminis in my life as a fellow air sign. Air signs and air signs tend to find each other because we have that resonance. It's all an energy thing. And so it's true, I've had a lot of Gemini connections, friends, love relationships. And yeah, I know, I know every time I meet a Gemini, there will be the ones that are extremely up and, excitable and, very sociable and outgoing and everything. And then I meet the ones that are quite introverts and very studious. And once again, the teachers, the archetype of teachers in the astrology. And I really mix with you well. I always find myself having a lot of laughs. And I also like the way that, because I'm a air sign that's Libra and looking and striving for balance all the time, also a duality, right? Not always there, but always wanting to be there, the two scales. I find that I'm always wanting to exude a sense of calm with Geminis because they can be very, very excitable and very full of energy. And when we had the Mercury retrograde in your sign, for basically all of your birthday month, I would say, realistically, because of the shadow period. And actually the shadow period is still there, Gemini, and it is still in your sign, Mercury, that is, your ruling planet, until, I would say, July 7th. So not too much further, but I know that you have probably felt the clearing in the dust, being moved away from this slow kind of pattern of stagnation and, holds and pauses and waits and changes, and being extra flexible and taking the time to really review, revisit, rejuvenate if possible, because sometimes there are just things in the external world we cannot control. But you can be relaxed, you can go inward with the retrogrades, which is really what happens. It's more introspection at that time to figure stuff out, think things over, really kind of concentrate on what really matters, especially when you've had a new birthday season, right? And that's what we had for you just before this Cancer season. So, yeah, I think it happens constantly in our lives, but I feel like with your eclipse being in the sign of Gemini as well, in your sign, this was a very, very important and transformational year, and in any particular area of your life. But the messages come through for a long time with the eclipses, and they can happen immediately, or they're information that comes through either even a month before the actual eclipse, which was June 10th for you, or a month after, but then it just continues to unfold itself. It guides us, it gives us more information, and it helps us and catapult ourselves forward to that destiny, that desire, that change, whatever it is. And of course, the one just before yours being in the pair, which is always how eclipses run, was in Sagittarius. That's your polar opposite. That's the optimism, the truth seeking, freedom seeking, for heaven's sakes, and recognizing your capabilities, your judgment is right, your philosophical outlooks, those higher learning, educated kind of thoughts and feelings and expression, also being a mutable sign as you are, Sagittarius, just the way to accept and allow people's differences as well as commonalities. And yeah, truth, unveiling of truth, continuous things coming in the news, in our own personal life, a light shining on that with those eclipses. It's like a moon or new moon, full moon on steroids that's providing this information. And every day we seem to get a little bit more of that, I come to find. And I personally, I know they always say there's your truth and my truth, but then there's a common truth that I think is known just within, just since the beginning of time, if you will. And that's what's being shown to us. And it's pretty exciting, and it's pretty revolutionary and inventive and exciting. So it's really great. Now you have the Scorpio highlighted connection, and they are, like I said, the water element, and they are deep in their feelings. Water signs like Pisces and Cancer only know that, and how they see the world, their perspective is through their feelings, how they sense things. I mean, they literally sense people's emotions. They can feel them from across the room. They can feel them from across the continent. I mean, the psychic ability is innate with them. It's part of their gift. We all have different gifts we offer each other in this beautiful planet. And, Scorpio is no exception. And Scorpio tends to be more intense because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And Pluto is the transformational planet. Pluto is the one that gets down and dirty, and it's about disease and death and renewal and life and changing. For everything that dies, something is born, you know, and it doesn't have to mean figuratively, but it certainly has been in the last year or so. I think we've all experienced someone or somehow the change or the grieving of loss, and it's about getting up and brushing yourself off and just starting over and reinventing yourself continuously through our life, right? Because of different cycles and patterns and things that just occur, like the sun coming up and the moon coming out at night. It's going to happen, you know, as far as I know. I mean, maybe that'll change. I always say, who knows? I don't really know. But thus far, those are the things we can certainly plan on and accept and understand. Other things can just be just that mysterious part of life. We just don't really know. We just have a lot of faith and a lot of focus on things we want. And so, yeah, there's that intensity with Scorpio. There's this possessive kind of energy. I mean, when they want something, they go all the way, okay? And they have this very, very keen interest in intellect as well, the human psyche. They're the I would say the investigators of the horoscope. They want to dig deep. They want to find out answers. They're going to bring that truth up, whether they like it or not, whether what they want to see or not. And then they actually know, and they can move from there and then transform, like I said. And others around them, they're passionate and caring and loving and devoted and loyal. But they're pretty much, everything you see is what you get, and you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to be dishonest with them. They will not forget that easily. And they can be a little possessive in love and things they care about. You know, they got the claws. Anything with claws, they're like, So that can be great, or it can be a little bit stifling. It's all on the level and energy of any sign, right? With the either higher energy or the shadowy energy, and where that resides. That has a lot to do with nature versus nurture, right? And how we were raised and so forth. Either way, I think there's incredible attraction physically. And I might mention that we have Leo, the beautiful, passionate, you know, fiery, heart-centered, you know, emotional, dramatic, ego-centered, because ruled by the sun, the brightest star in the planet. That's what the sun signs represent. Our sun sign, you know, the day that we're born, and our egos are involved, our interests, our likes, how we see things external wise, more so than the other planets like moon and rising and such. And there's always been this connection with, in my years of study and doing readings and counseling with my clients, of this very notable and excitable, I would say, exchange and connection with the Gemini and Scorpio. And yes, Gemini is a freedom sign. They don't like to be curtailed. They don't want to conform necessarily. There's that mutable part. They want to do what they want to do and try new things and not have to concern themselves with any. They tend to move a lot and change jobs maybe, but to better themselves, you know, they can stay at a job a long time. Don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of Geminis. That's that duality part. That'll stay in one job their whole life. My point is they're open to change, and they're not so fixed like the fixed sign that's Scorpio is. But they do complement each other well, because there's absolute love and passion in what they do on both sides. And, you know, the Gemini is open and wanting to be very caring and loving and fair-minded. And I think that they reach a beautiful compromise a lot of times. And it has a lot to do with other planets in the chart. But I'll move from here on to saying and showing you the beautiful messages coming through with the Tarot deck for this month. I have chosen the Queen of Tarots. And I did that because it just felt appropriate with a lot of the water signs, which are very feminine dualities. We have, once again, we're in the season of Cancer. We have Jupiter, the beautiful, benevolent, and giving and expanding energy of opportunity and luck and creativity, you know, and healing in the sign of Pisces. And that's all about healing, and that's all about love, and it's all about, you know, self-sacrifice and giving and to receive something else, and just definite healing, definite compassion, definite creativity, heightened intuition ability, okay? If you're feeling more intuitive and you're kind of recognizing ahead of time, like, I knew that person would call, or I thought I would run into that person. It's all about being exactly in the energy, in your creative mode, in within your higher power, and recognizing the connection you have to everything around you. So that's going to be heightened being in this connection with Scorpio. Perhaps you just have that energy within you, or you have water in your chart, Gemini. But I like this a lot, and I want to be able to share with you what energies are coming through. So the Queen of Tarot is really just more about the intuitive aspect of us, the more feminine side duality of every one of us. We have the feminine and masculine. And it's a beautiful deck because it's very, very intricate and very beautifully illustrated. So I'd like to share that. And we set this aside. And the first category is always the overall energy that brought you to this reading for July. And you have the King of Swords. Whoo, boy, there you are, Gemini. Now, it doesn't matter about the gender, but the king is the maturity. That's lived a long life, and whether you're young or not, you know, for many souls, many lifetimes, definitely feeling extremely grounded in your energy, feeling you've reached the heights that you wanted to. You know, you may have gone to certain educational courses that you've finished, and you're maybe wanting to go and certify for yet another and level up yet again. It's about your, you know, definite interest in educating and your intellect, your ability to speak with more clarity and, you know, conviction. It is it's positive, and it's truthful, and it's all about being fair and just, and creating that in your lives and in other lives, so that this is a continuum that happens as we move forward. And I think that's a big issue that's happening in the world at large anyway. So it feels really good. It feels like it's, you know, it's absolutely it's mature and stable and very, very capable. You've reached certain places that you want to go, and are definitely interested in maybe pursuing new interests and new avenues, you know? So it's a stable and secure, beautiful recognition of your gifts and your energy. You're in your energy, Gemini. And that feels good because, you know, there is that ability and possibility of being scattered when you have that duality, and you're constantly doing things and thinking things, and the mind is on overtime, right? That shows more of a stable feeling in your thoughts, and feeling, you know, at peace with that. So I like that a lot. I mean, that's beautiful. And then we go on to the second category, which is the possible blessings or obstacles. And what comes up for you, Gemini, and your beautiful connection with Scorpio is the Lovers. Well, I think I've made it clear. This is a beautiful relationship as far as the physical, and that's essential. That's a huge part of Scorpio. I mean, yes, they're known as a sexuality sign because they feel so deeply. They take you into their soul. Physical contact and intimacy is a way to get to know a person, you know, and it's not frivolous. It's not because you want to be, you know, what's the term when you're, I don't even remember right now. I just know that that's how Scorpios operate, and that's where they got that stigma attached to them. But they're extremely loyal, and they're not necessarily with a bunch of partners. They're not that way. But when they make that choice, they stick with it, and they do their best to really figure out the ways to keep it for the long term. And they're not willing to share that much. So this is part of the conversation of love that would come through. Lovers is definitely about romance and love and all the things I mentioned, but it's also about making a correct decision, a partnership of some sort if it isn't romance. And it certainly doesn't have to be. I'm feeling that way particularly for you, and with the, I guess I started to mention earlier, we have both Mars and Venus. Mars, the aggressive, you know, warrior, like, I'm taking it, this is mine, I'm going to win this situation, whatever it is, in the sign of Leo, the fire sign, right? So the passion's there, the desire, the absolute spirited desire and will to make things occur, and the strength and courage it takes to do so. So if you're feeling more strength, if you're feeling more invigorated or energy-wise, it's that beautiful emphasis of Leo, with Mars and Leo, and then Venus. That's the planet of love and beauty and magic and aesthetically things looking good. You're feeling better, you're looking better. And then also money and prosperity come into mind, along with the King of Swords, right? So I don't know, this is really, I mean, the King of Swords absolutely represents institutions, banks, loans, things of that nature coming through to fruition and in maturity, okay? So something waited upon or something is coming through, dividends from stocks, inheritances, when it has to do with Scorpio. It's the 8th house of other people's money, inheritances, things you don't necessarily know and expect to have happen, or your partner's money combined together. The lovers, okay? I see that as a beautiful major arcana message of absolute contentment and desires being fulfilled. So this is a beautiful reading, Gemini. And I know you went through a lot. Like I said, the retrograde, that's a lot, just because it makes us really go in and think about us and what we need to change and what needs to be happening to help ourselves. And the world will be there, the universe will be there. Your guides are always there to make that as easy as possible, but it just depends on how you receive that or how you take that in, you know. That's always our choice. That is what we have in control, right? And the final category is that of finances. And yes, it's about money, but it's also about the wealth and what you really, really consider to be of importance to you. Wealth in your health, wealth in your family and your love, and things you cherish, right? Your job, whatever it is. And you have the 10 of Pentacles, so for all of the delays and the changes and the, oh my gosh, you know, last year to this year, I mean, it's just been a lot. You're going to come out smelling like a rose, and you have always been a sign that I find works diligently and hard, and you can have 2 or 3 jobs at once. That's that duality. You do a lot, and you do it well, and people listen to you. You have this gift to be able to have people understand, and you want to push that on and have them bring this information, teach them, you know, educate people, and bring them to a place where they recognize their worth, type of thing. And this has really been good for you. Now, whatever this is specifically for you, because it's a general reading, it's about the wealth and the happiness in all areas, once again, you know, and growing and understanding that it takes time and energy and patience. And sometimes you're going to have the ups and downs in this area, which we all do. All is a part of life, which makes us hopefully think and learn and educate ourselves in ways to change that, so that it doesn't come as quite a shock like the last year's incidences and so forth. But let's keep it on the positive slant. This is phenomenal. This is great wealth. This is possibly winnings and inheritance coming out of nowhere. Maybe the stimulus checks coming through. I mean, taxes that you've been waiting on, and also your hard energy work. Absolutely beautiful. The highest you can get. Pentacles of the earth, the elements, you know, things in your daily practical life that you can see, feel, and touch. What a beautiful reading. I'm so happy to be able to read this for you and be the messenger in that regard. I'm going to finish it with a rune, like I like to do. It's like I call the cherry on the sundae. Very, very, very strong and accurate kind of energies that come with this oracle of the rune. I've always been fascinated. So yours is the symbol of this, which I don't know if you can see, but I have a little cheat sheet, so I'll be explaining it in more detail. I always set this rune on the second category, which is possible blessings or obstacles. And this is about the lovers. This is about your life of love and compassion and, you know, proper selection. And it's not like you didn't look into it or really give it some thought, because you know how you do that. And it's all making sense, and it's all coming in a beautiful circle, if you will, as to how it should be. So this particular rune is the rune of, where is that picture? Okay, it is the rune of Pertro. I want to say Pertro. And the number is 14. So that's interesting. That's 1 and 4, which in numerology is a 5. We're in a 5-year. And we're also in the year which, like the 5 is, a change, a challenge. You know, challenges motivate us. A lot of people welcome challenge, right? And when I hear the term challenge, when I'm doing my readings or I'm being read to or listening to my favorite, you know, tarot readers, challenge, I think, oh, okay. But no, I too, believe it or not, I welcome them as well. Because I know they will be there. And even if it's a type of challenge like, okay, I've got an oil leak in my car, figuratively, really, in real life. And I've had a lot of work done, and it's going to be a lot of money. So now when I go to where I have to park, I don't want to make a mess. Just stick my oil tray under there and then pick it up afterwards, wipe it down, get the oil checked as often as possible until I can come up with another solution. It's a challenge. It's not like a huge challenge, but it's one of those that's kind of always there. Just a slight example, right? Those are the kind of challenges that go from small to big and otherwise, but they can be very motivating, and they're there to teach us and to help us and to guide us and to show us that there's always solutions. There's always help in any situation. So let's go further in and see exactly what it has to say. And I will let you know that it's to be set on the side like this. I've done that before. It's actually a side position. And to me, it looks like a big staple that's been opened in a way. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but anyway, let's go in there to see what it says more specifically in relation to your reading as well and see how synchronistic it is, because it's been pretty right on, because it talks about the time frame. Now, what time frame are we talking about? We're talking about between January 13th and the 27th. So that's during Capricorn and Aquarius season. So there's that earthly kind of grounded energy that's really about success, all the things we need and want in material life, and you know, successfully achieving and receiving that. And then Aquarius, which a lot of the energies and planets have been in this year and go back into again from being in retrograde. For example, Jupiter, which is now in Pisces, had a little short stint there. It's leaving on the 28th. There's still a lot of beautiful energy in Jupiter and Pisces to the end of the month, and then it goes into Aquarius again as it started the year until December 28th. And so there's a lot of time for this wonderful, intelligent, information-seeking, you know, global desire to help all energy, humanitarian energy of Aquarius. Very interested in science, very, very much about ingenuity and inventiveness and independence and, you know, shaking things up and changing our lives like we've never done before. And it's so beautiful. And so there's that combination there of, you know, freedom and constriction, which is exactly what's happening with the signs and the earth elements of, the planets of Aquarius that started in Jupiter, and we'll go back in there, and Saturn in Aquarius, the freedom versus the constriction. It's just this constant polarity that kind of helps balance us in a way, you know what I mean? You don't want too much of one, you don't want too much of the other. It's quite remarkable, and that happens actually through next year. But that's another story. I will continue on the path I was going. So yeah, this is about that energy, kind of polarity happening, the grounding and the expression of freedom. And at the same time, it could happen and had maybe started happening for you, Gemini, because you are an air sign and you're very much affected by the other air signs and the planets that have that energy going in them in a positive way. You know, this is an easier year for that reason. And so it probably started right at the beginning of the year, like the 13th, like I said. And it's going to continue growing in the messages and all the beautiful things you've spoken about through January of next year and then onward. But predominantly for that is what this message is trying to get through to you. So then we go on, and I'll read the actual words associated with it. What does this say here? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So the word associated with this too is dice box. Wow. Okay, so Pertho represents the word dice box. And to me, That's like taking that risk, shaking those dice, right? Why not? That's what you're about. You get the 2 dice. You just say, bam, let's see what happens. See what, what the chances and the odds are, right? Why not at this point? But the words associated with it, though, are specifically, let's see, response. Oh, I'm sorry. The response is diplomacy, ability, control of the situation, protection, assured, precious, initiation, a stroke of genius, winnings from gamblings. There's the dice. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you to go and gamble, for Pete's sakes, but clearly this might be the year that you play the lottery once or twice. I mean, I've heard they have great big cash pots, and I mean, I don't know, and I just feel like there are times in our life, we all know this, we have luck, and there are times we don't. But if it's saying this might be a good time, maybe you want to just go small scale or whatever, or invest in a certain stock you may not have done in the past, but you looked into it, you got your due diligence, you use your mind, and who knows, it could set you up for life, right? I like that a lot, and it's very, very positive, as is the correct choice and selection with the Lovers. Thank you so much, Rune. That makes a lot of sense, and it helps to kind of just culminate the reading for you. So, Gemini, I'm going to go into the other oracles before I end this. And if you have not had a chance to subscribe and like, please do me that favor. It just takes a moment. You are not, expected, or it's no kind of, cost or anything of that nature. It's simply a like or subscribe that lets me know that you resonated with this and that you might be interested in coming back to have the readings, which of course I would love. And YouTube likes to see that more and more for channels, and then they will help by doing their part. And that's really my whole intention, to just kind of grow and build a wonderful like-minded community online, as opposed to when I do them in person. And so, yeah, it would be awesome. And I appreciate every single one of you that do. And I just want to put that out there. So that's always going to be your choice. And so I'm going to read to you now this beautiful oracle called the Star Seed. Whoops, I've got the other glasses on now. Forgive me. It's that kind of day, right? Star Seed Oracle. And these are probably the better ones. I had those, didn't I? Oh my goodness. I love this deck so much. It has a lot of depth to it. And basically, it's just letting us know that, like an oracle would, with the wisdom of the world, we are all star seeds. We are all connected. We are all of one consciousness. And when something happens in one part of the world, we feel it everywhere. Some way, in some capacity, Some is very obviously seen, and some is very, very subtle and unseen, but happening nonetheless. And it just is proven more and more to me in life how we are connected. And so this brings out the beautiful messages about that, and just kind of really wakens us up a little bit to the realities of that, and how you do participate and what you do bring to this environment, to the world. So for you, beautiful Geminis, it says Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, seed the light by staying grounded. Okay, well, that's always a really wise suggestion, one I always truly ask for and need, because as a majority of air and water and some fire, with only one planet in Earth myself, which is the grounding element that we all love and appreciate when we're around it. It's very essential when you're affected by other things and you really don't want to be, and you just want to be at peace, and really it's an inside job, feeling holistic and grounded, that you can therefore move forward in a place that's more stable and peaceful. That's a great way to start any day, if you get an opportunity to take that time in meditation or walk or run or whatever it is to you. So that's a heads up for that. And being an air sign, a lot of times it is about the mind so much that it's so important to even go down to the heart chakra, of course, And then down to our root chakra, just being stable and grounded, and just deep breaths, you know. Let's read specifically what it says for you, though. This beautiful, beautiful card. I'm still getting to know this deck. It's relatively new, but it's so beautiful. So it's usually in order. And let's Star Keeper, Star Family. It would be after that, right after. You're an ancient keeper of the stars, here to anchor and seed your light in your unique way. You've likely been incarnated on Earth for some time, dedicated to an era of awakening and bringing about a long-awaited shift in the planet's evolution. Well, I think we're seeing a lot of that these days, aren't we? And thank you, Gemini, for your part. We're at a tipping point now. The survival on Earth and all of its species is coming to a head. The more grounded you remain during the transitional period, the more helpful you'll be. The more you tend to the figures of your own heart, or the flames, of your own heart, the more love you'll anchor into this planet. The wisdom of the stars is imprinted in your soul. The more soul fragments you call home, the more this wisdom is seated there. You may be called to be in different places in the world, to anchor the light, perhaps by taking a trip or living in a certain location. You may also find yourself experiencing awakening symptoms. The more grounded you remain, the more stable Earth's energies will become, and the less reactive humanity will be. You're here for a double mission, to grow as an individual and as a part of a larger collective that's bringing about a shift in frequency. Trust that you can be in the world, but not of it. And lead a truly glorious life. I feel like I said at the very beginning, in the world of it, in that very realm, which is obviously spiritual insight for me to share with you, which is in connection with this. And I absolutely love this. And I understand it, and I hope you do too. And I just appreciate you for being a participant in that as a star seed. Because yes, there's many transitions, and they're happening quicker and quicker, and it's all for the betterment, you know. It's to always improve and upgrade and uplift and ascend. So I did decide to pull out these beautiful Healing with the Angel cards this month of July. You know, June was a very interesting and beautiful month in a lot of ways, but it was also very challenging and transitional for a lot of people. And like I said, you included, Gemini, with your solar return and so forth. And so what I do is I pick one every day. I usually actually pick 2 or 3, but I have a little calendar I write it in. I've done it, I have like since 2015. I was looking at it and thinking, well, it seems fast since I started that. But I love them, so I want to pick the one for you that resonates for the whole month. Okay, and what angels want to speak to you about and mention it specifically. And I love it because it's so suiting for you. And it is the card of friendship. And I don't really delve too much deeper into it other than to say that friendships are an essential part of life. They're an essential part of our love connections. And I can't imagine my own life without them. And I know you have so many of them in so many different walks of life and, you know, cultures and groups. It doesn't matter to you. You're all giving, all receiving, and all accepting, which is what I love about you so much, Gemini. So keep those going and thriving, okay? They're an important part of a beautiful, happy, fulfilling, holistic life, I think. And that's the angels wanting to mention that to you, which I think you probably already know. More than a lot of people. So then I finished with the Oracle, which is the Super Attractor Manifestation deck. And this is really just, you know, bringing forth the life that you want, because you feel it so much that it actually becomes a reality for you. And that is one of the last, most important aspects of manifesting, is what we feel. Okay, the emotion we bring into anything, the passion. Okay, it seems like you got a lot of passion going on this month, just saying. So, and the help of Leo is no slight thing. So I'm really grateful for all of us feeling that energy and that vitality and enthusiasm again. So your final message today, beautiful, I love this, Geminis, and I will have to put this on because it does look a bit light to me. When I introduce joy, to a situation to change the vibrational frequency. Okay, I'll reread that. When I introduce joy to a situation, I change the vibrational frequency of what's happening around me. And that's so clear from this reading and the starseed message and everything, and how we all do that. We all feel it in some way, cause and effect. And you've got that beautiful new moon, which, by the way, will be in Cancer on the 10th next week. So there's a lot of time to initiate beautiful new inspirational things yet again, like every month, right? Why not have something new and changing in our life every single month, every day certainly, but definitely every month, that inspires and brings this absolute joy in alignment with spirit, right? I love it as a mantra or an affirmation, as well. I can say it over and over and over and just feel it changing my energy for the positive. So those are your readings, and I love the reading. I hope that you were feeling that now, and you've gone through the hardest times, or the more things that were probably a little hard for you because it was a matter of having to wait and kind of bring that patience in, right? So it's coming forth, though. It's coming forth in flying colors, and enjoy your holiday weekend. And come back for your mid-month reading. I'd love to have you checking in. That would be great. So until next time, thank you so much, and bye for now.